I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Was it a good game? Was it a good game? Yeah, that's why I'm so late. Too good. Really?
For the record, this is a public meeting of the Bayonne Board of Education. It is 8 p.m., the 27th day of September. We're convening in the Anna J. Herbert Meeting Room. Presiding officer is Joseph Broderick, President of the Bayonne Board of Education. Those in attendance include Dr. Michael A. Wanko, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Kenneth Kopaz, Assistant Superintendent for Personnel, Dr. Gary Maida, Board Secretary, Mr. Leo J. Smith, Jr., Assistant Superintendent for Business, Dr. Dennis Degnan, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Mr. Mitchell Pasquale, our Board Counsel. The meeting is open to the public. I will take a roll call. Trustee Cruden.
Present.
Trustee Desmond.
Here.
Trustee Finnerty.
Here.
Trustee Garrett.
Present.
Trustee Lawande.
Here.
Trustee Munoz.
Here.
Trustee Ryan.
Here.
Vice President Wilbeck.
Here.
President Barber.
Here. For the record, adequate written advance notice of at least 48 hours giving the time, date, and location of this meeting with the agenda was provided as follows. Notice was prominently posted in City Hall at 630 Avenue C on the bulletin board reserved for such announcements of the Board of Education. The Board Secretary sent such notice to the Jersey Journal and the Bayonne Community News. Notice was filed with the Municipal Clerk of the City of Bayonne, Mr. Robert F. Sloan.
We'll start the meeting off with a commendation. I'll read this into the record. Whereas Dungwee Lee, a senior attending Bayonne High School, brought honor and distinction to himself and his family in the school district by achieving a perfect score of 800 on the math SAT. Whereas Dungwee's achievements are a result of his dedication and commitment to his academic studies, now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Education wishes to offer its heartfelt congratulations to Dungwee Lee on his achievement of a perfect score of 800 on the math SAT. Next on our agenda is our approval of the minutes for August 23rd, 2017. Do I have a motion?
Mike.
Do I have a motion
I'll move.
on the minutes?
I'll move.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second.
So on that motion and second, Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finnerty?
Yes.
Trustee Garlick?
Abstain.
Trustee Lawande?
Yes.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck?
Yes.
President Broderick?
Yes.
Just a quick comment to the audience and people out there. When you get to see our agenda, you'll see it's going to be broken down into 3 sections, our information reports and actions. It'll be broken down to curriculum and instruction, budget and finance, and personnel. And that's how we'll proceed with our resolution. So I'm going to start first with curriculum and instruction. It includes resolutions A1 through A28. All our resolutions are on the bulletin board. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And do I have a second?
I second.
So I have a motion and second on the consent agenda. A quick aside, there are 2 portions of the meeting for public comment. This would be the first portion. If someone has a particular question on an individual resolution, this would be your time. As is stated in the agenda, this is your time to speak on a particular resolution. Just please come to the microphone and state your name and your address.
Hi, Karen Weeks, 937 Avenue C. I just wanted to speak briefly on the approval to purchase the Chromebooks. I wasn't planning on speaking, but I was at the workshop portion, and I just wanted to make a statement that as a high school teacher, last year I was there were 2 Chromebooks available to me, one for my use and one as a spare in the classroom, and this year those devices are not available to me, and it makes it very difficult for me to demonstrate new programs or new Chrome extensions that I'd like the students to use. I actually have to use a student's device, and that leaves one of the students in the class without the device in order for me to demonstrate. So last year, that extra Chromebook was very valuable. If a student left theirs behind, or it was broken, or they didn't have a charger, et cetera, I was able to use that extra device. So I know there was some question about whether we need the Chromebooks. I do not agree with spending more money at all. However, there's some things that you have to do. And having that extra Chromebook for teachers' availability, I think is something that's important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm trying to find,
Sure.
Why don't they have?
let me ask the question, Steve.
I'll see if I could point you in the right direction.
How much is being spent on the new Chromebooks?
Okay, that would be resolution B18 we're talking about.
Right. I don't think it says it in the resolution.
Yes, it does.
It does in the first paragraph.
Total cost of $1,655,940.
First paragraph.
District needed 6,000 Chromebooks for a total cost of $1,655,940.
This is A18.
B.
B18.
B18.
It's the next section of
My
budget.
problem, my fault. And the district and the board has decided that this is a necessary purchase,
Yes.
even with the shortcomings in the budget?
Yes.
Okay?
Well, you can talk to the front,
There was great discussion during the workshop regarding the necessity, and we as board members were convinced that even though we do have reservations at spending that amount of money at this particular time, those Chromebooks are absolutely necessary to the instruction for our students.
Thank you. Is there, now that we have a new type of agenda, is it possible to follow the contract that I have, that I would receive a copy of the agenda as soon as it's produced? The point I'm making is, when I received this 5 minutes ago, it's virtually impossible for me to read through the entire agenda and ask intelligent questions. So what I have to do is flip through as fast as I can and try to catch the things I think are important. There was no way that this whole agenda was put together a half hour ago.
If I could answer for the board. Starting next month,
Yes.
we will hopefully, 48 hours prior to the meeting, get as much of the agenda and resolutions on our website.
Fine.
I know you understand that there are certain resolutions that do come up at the last minute. But I do, as of today, I do post the resolutions also starting at 6 o'clock. But hopefully, the 48-hour notice will not only help you, obviously the trustees get it, but it'll be out there for the whole public. And we're going to really try and do that and get, 98% of the resolutions and the agenda out.
And my point is obvious. You didn't decide at 6 o'clock that you were going to spend $1.6 million on Chromebooks.
No, this has actually been before the board for the last 4 months.
Right, so that would have been included in what you're talking about now.
But to be honest with you, I did not get the resolution to today because we didn't have the dollar figures plugged into the resolution. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. D'Angelo, and even if I put a resolution out with a blank without the dollar figures.
That's fine.
I'm going to try and do that.
Right, because
think
then
it
I
makes-
can at least know to ask the question, and then when I
Absolutely.
stand up, I'll say, the only thing that I don't see here is the price. Do you have it now that you're going to pass it?
Sure.
Which you would then. But I can ask the question intelligently because I read it before I showed up here. Thank you.
I think you'll see it a little different in October.
Thank you.
So, Any other questions? So we have a motion and a second. Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finerty?
Yes,
Trustee Garrett?
Aye.
Trustee Lawande?
No.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck?
Yes.
President Broderick?
Yes.
Now we'll turn to Section B, which is our Budget and Finance. Resolutions B1 to B20.
Wait, I thought that was me.
No.
No, that was
A.
A.
His question was about
Yes.
this.
Yeah, but.
No, because he asked about B, that's what.
No, I had a move and second on A.
it was just A,
Oh, hey, I'm yes
not,
for yeah.
not on the
That's right.
the finance.
Would you like to change your vote?
Oh, yeah.
And Trustee Lawande is changing his vote to yes on Section A. Now, moving along to Section B, do I have a move and a second?
I'll move.
And I will second that.
So we have a motion and a second on the consent items on Budget and Finance. Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finerty?
No,
Trustee Garlick?
Aye.
Trustee Lawande?
No.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck?
Yes.
And President Broderick.
Yes.
Next up in Section C is Personnel. I'd just like to note that Resolution C6 and C10 are being moved to non-consent. So do I have a motion on the consent agenda for C
I motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finerty?
Yes,
Trustee Garlick?
Aye.
Trustee Lawande?
Yes.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck?
Yes.
President Broderick?
Yes.
Give me a second. We'll start with C6. C6, whereas, and these are all on our bulletin board. C6, the Bayonne Board of Education is desirous to provide parent workshops from October 2017 to June 2018. Resolve the following personnel listed below will be presenting the parent workshops, $20 per hour. Title I funds not to exceed the budgeted amount of $2,500. Do I have a motion
I motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, on that motion and second, Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finerty?
Yes,
Trustee Garlick?
Aye.
Trustee Lawande?
Yes.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck?
Abstain.
President Broderick?
Yes.
And then that followed by C10, whereas the Bayonne Board of Education is desirous of utilizing a portion of funds under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, Part B, IDAB, 2018, for the 2017-18 school year, addressing disproportionately of providing academic support to grades K to 3 general ed students in an after-school program. This is our Literacy Boost 100-book challenge program, $20 per hour for 8 hours weekly, to be paid under the federal item IDEA B 2018 grant. You'll see a list of staff members and assignments of their schools. Do we have a motion
I motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
On that motion and second, Trustee Cruden,
Yes.
Trustee Desmond,
Abstain.
Trustee Finerty,
Yes,
Trustee Garrett,
Aye.
Trustee Lawande,
Yes.
Trustee Munoz,
Yes.
Trustee Ryan,
Yes.
Vice President Wilbeck.
Yes.
President Broderick.
Yes.
Mr. President, that is all I have for the board this evening. At this time, we'll open it up to the public for any questions on any particular topics. Just once again, please state your name and your address.
Dr. Andrea Recitar, 22 West 41st Street, Bayonne, New Jersey. You know, in approximately April, the state came in to begin an audit of finances, and we were under the impression that a report was going to be available, forthcoming in September, and here's
Correct.
September come and gone, so what's the status of that report?
We're in the same position you are. They're still here. That's
Actually,
what I
they
can
left
tell
and
you.
came back.
They
They-
don't give us any information. I don't believe they've given the superintendent or, actually, the county superintendent any information about what they're doing. So, you're waiting as much as we're waiting, so. I wish I had a better answer than that, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Okay. Number two, I understand Brown and Brown is going to be coming to do a presentation on healthcare options. Can you clarify the date? Because I thought two different dates were mentioned and I was confused, and is that going to be at the workshop?
Committee, I think,
It's only the committee, it's not,
the
it's
first,
not
the first
presented?
the first go round.
All right, so it's not going to be presented in an October workshop?
That,
I believe,
What we're going to do is finance, they're gonna make a presentation in
Just to finance?
on October 13th, the Thursday evening. If finance so chooses, then we will bring the options to the entire board to have a discussion about possibly changing out or shopping out our healthcare insurance.
Okay, so that discussion was just for the finance committee, that was not a general workshop
And that is an
presentation?
October 12th date, Thursday.
That Thursday.
That's the
Okay,
Thursday.
I'm sorry, October 12th. And just so you, for information, we found out that last night, Camden,
I heard
last
that.
night left the school employees' health benefit system as well. So that's another huge player that has left that system.
Newark left also, correct?
yeah.
Newark left, Elizabeth left, Camden. January 1st, we are looking at a 13% increase in healthcare. So we're trying to look at everything and be proactive. It doesn't mean that the board is going to change. It means they're going to have a discussion to see, if it's a viable option.
I understand that, but I didn't realize that was just the finance committee. I thought it was coming to the regular workshop. Okay. And then last question, I understand last week you were discussing possibly using Genesis as the new system for reporting grades and doing scheduling and things. If that's going to be adopted for next school year, when will teachers know and when will they be trained?
Dr. Wyko?
Well, there are many components of Genesis. One is scheduling, and if we're moving in that area, that would have to come earlier, and that would be training probably 2 months in advance of implementation. The part that Dr. Degnan would have for student data records and so on wouldn't occur until the following year.
I just would like to avoid a situation when we switched over to real time. I believe we were at the end of the fourth marking period trying to do final grades, and it's stressful enough, and I would hope that we wouldn't do that again.
You'll be at real time for the rest of this year, just so you understand that for your purposes.
Okay. And I just had a request, since Genesis looks like it can do no evil, could it also report, generate reports for uniform violations so teachers aren't doing the tedious paper writing? Since it seems like you can push a button and do any report that you need based on what I heard on the YouTube channel, barely because the audio is very poor. I'd like to know if we could try to institute that as well.
Actually, that's a very good question, and Genesis is a New Jersey base, which will do everything that New Jersey requires, but they do have another section of Genesis that will allow you to do what they call à la carte. And if we present that to them, that's a program we would like to purchase separately, they could design that program and implement it.
Now, would we be using that system as well to do lesson plans, and also for our web page would be through them then too? Our individual teacher web pages? So I'm just,
That decision hasn't been made yet, but it would be lesson plans and grade book. And again, there would be training before you don't to use real time currently. but that would be for implementation for the next year. The only thing that would start this year, if we do go with Genesis, would be the scheduling component, because as you know, we need to begin scheduling about halfway through the year.
Well, I just ask that it's done in a timely fashion, because with PDPs and SGOs and the start of the school year and now learning a new system, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming, even for veteran teachers that have been around for a while. And so just,
You're
give us a break.
absolutely right, and they do provide a lot of training and on-site work, and they also have what they call a helpline, which you would be able to call and see as well.
Right, but again, when it's midnight and you're trying to get a lesson ready for the next day and you're struggling, going to the helpline isn't your first priority at the time, so, thank you.
Mr. D'Angelo?
I'd like to follow up on Andrea's question. You've not approached the state auditors and asked them at what point they're at, or how longer it's going to take, or what they're doing? It seems as if nobody wants to go near these people.
Mr. Broderick, there was a piece in today's community news
Right.
on the second page where they said that they pushed the results back until November. There was a little blurb in the community news.
They made the statement to the community news,
The head of the audit unit,
to November.
that's what it said.
Well, that impacts on negotiations, as
Mr.
I
D'Angelo,
understand.
I did meet with the county superintendent, specifically asked her if we could get some information about the audit, and she too told us we are not privy to that. She is not privy to that.
November. That impacts on negotiations, and we'll be meeting on Monday, so that's not a good thing. The idea that the state is able to do something like that without giving your local board any timeline and any information going forward freezes everything that's going on, makes it very difficult for anybody to make a decision on
I
how they
agree.
want to proceed.
I'm in agreement with you. They did give us a timeline, it just happened to be a bad one.
They didn't follow it, yes, they changed it. And simply the last question has nothing to do with that. There's a resolution C-26 that refers to Mr. Smith and Mr. Degnan's contract. Now, as I understand it, I believe I got a copy of that a couple of months ago. Is this going to be an addendum to their contract? Can somebody explain what this resolution means?
The resolution for Dr. Degnan was a typo with his title. It was Assistant Superintendent Curriculum and Instruction, so that was his. Mr. Smith's was just his yearly, that was delayed from the original the month before when we did Dr. Degnan and Mr. Kopak.
So nothing else changed in
The
there?
title
Nothing
was
else.
also wrong.
Title was also wrong.
Yes, that's why that one was
Both of them
late
were
also.
titles.
That's why that wasn't done last month. But there's no change in salary. There are no merit goals. I believe there's a 0% increase.
Correct.
So it's,
Thanks for telling me that last point. Thank you.
all right. Anyone else?
Shonda Montgomery, 57 Garrettson. Just a quick comment. I'm sure you all noticed it. The band got their new uniforms, first time in 20 years. They look fabulous. I've been told by a really close band member, they're really super comfortable, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys, because it was a big deal for them, and they look fabulous. So they sound really good, too, with their new instructors. So we're all really happy with that, so thanks.
Thank you. At this time, we have our student representative. He'll introduce himself.
Good evening, Board of Ed Trustees, Interim Superintendent Dr. Wanko, Assistant Superintendents Kopas, Dr. Deckman, and Mrs. Smith. Boy, it's great to be back here. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself to the new superintendent. My name is Victor Lazaro, and I'm the Board of Ed representative for student government. I'm here to pass information from the student government to the board and let you know what's going on within the student government. In October, we will be hosting various amounts of events throughout the school. The first event we'll be hosting is our first annual homecoming dance, which will be on Saturday, October 21st. Throughout the week of October 23rd, we will be hosting Spirit Weeks, such as Flannel Day, Decades Day, Color Wars, and Characters Day. We hope Spirit Week will raise the school spirit within Bayonne High School. And finally, our final event, which will be on October 25th, we'll be hosting our annual Fright Night, which was a success from last year. For this school year, we're aiming to raise more money from what we achieved from last year, which was a little over $1,000. And with that, all money we raised will be donated to our state charity, which is Grow a Row. Grow a Row is a nonprofit organization that grows fresh, healthy produce that is donated to food pantries, soup kitchens, food crisis centers, and food banks all over the state of New Jersey and beyond. We're hoping for the continued support of these upcoming events. Thank you.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Cruden, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Desmond. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Trustee Cruden?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Finnerty?
Yes.
Trustee Garlick?
Aye.
Trustee Lawande?
Yes.
Trustee Munoz?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan? Yes. Vice President Wilbeck?
Yes.
President Broderick?
Yes.
It is 8:25. The board will not return.